The psychological manipulation and desensitization that comes from pornography and touching yourself is absolutely massive. Like, it makes a huge difference to the point where, like, you could literally go from having like a dribble load to shooting projectile across the room if you just like don't touch your dick for like a week and a half. What's up guys, Derek, moreplacemoredates.com. Today we're going to be talking about the guy who stopped getting boners and is thinking it is from his ex-girlfriend who stole them essentially. He is no longer able to get hard after the breakup. So, title, my ex took my boners, help in all caps. Too long, didn't read. I stopped getting morning wood. I'm 25 years old. I recently broke up with a girl. 5-year relationship. I have zero feelings for her. My only regret is not breaking up sooner. But ever since the breakup, I've stopped getting morning wood and haven't had the desire to watch porn or masturbate. I find a new girl to mess with immediately after the breakup, and despite the fact that she's way hotter than my ex, I find it hard to get bricked up with her and can't coom for shit. My sleep schedule isn't great, but that wasn't a factor in the past. I don't really drink often, but I picked up smoking in just about a month ago. Try to keep a good diet, lots of protein, fats, and low sugar. I work out a lot, heavy lifts, and do jiu-jitsu 3 to 4 times a week. I'm in good shape physically. What do I do? I can't get the Tomcat or Fedoja Agrestis sup since they are both sold out. I'm considering buying vitamin D, zinc, and some other subs like ashwagandha and tribulus. Has anyone experienced something similar? How did you fix your shit? So, before I get into the comments, actually let's just go through the comments right now. Up the trend. No matter what the question is, at least one person will always respond with this. This community makes me laugh, crying laughing face times 5, fire emoji, flex emoji, Trenbolone acetate vial, Chef Rush saluting you. Get this man his boners back. We want this man's boner. When do we want it? Now. Make boners great again. Varys, give me back my boners. Dude, where's my boner? Chill, stop filling your head with bro shit. It's normal. You're getting older and this type of thing is one of those life realizations that your dick works better when you're comfortable with a girl and it takes time. You're not desperate anymore, so you're starting to figure out that you don't need to take whatever puss you can get. Relax and give it time to know the new girl. Congratulations, you're a normal man who's maturing. I've been there and freaked out too. Agreed, don't turn to supplements to fix this. This guy speaks the truth. We've all been there. I needed to hear this as well. Hooked up with a girl recently and was super embarrassed when I had trouble staying hard. I hardly knew her and was incredibly anxious. Everything was fine before the condom went on. Should I be worried? Were you drinking at all? I've had this happen before with alcohol. I wish I could say I was. I was sober, but I was also uneasy and anxious about the whole situation, so I don't know if that did it. Typically, don't hook up with people so off the cuff. Let's see. Make sure your condoms aren't too small. If I use a regular one, I can't keep hard and get a red ring where it's been. Because you're fucking huge, bro. That might be part of it. I've never tried different sizes or brands. Might benefit me to do so. Bro, get the magnums, especially if you're on TRT or PEDs. The dick bumps are real. Crying laughing face. You're grieving, bro. Just give it time and everything will get better. Papa Cialis, my boy. X is poisoning you. Smoking is not helping. Stop jerking off in mad amounts of trend. It doesn't sound like you don't have feelings for your ex. You making a Reddit post about how you stopped wanting to fuck at all after she left. I've had this issue when I wasn't attracted to a girl. I also went through it after a breakup. I just slowly moved on. Take an efficacious dose of protein shake before indulging in the reproductive process. All right, so when I hear of guys saying they have libido issues or they have staying hard issues or anything like that, in general, what I've seen as like step one thing, cut out porn from your life and stop touching your dick for a week and see what happens. This is something I see as a very, very common outcome of guys who think they have no idea how much it's affecting their brain chemistry and their sensitization, just like watching stuff. Like, it's dramatic to a point that when you're actually with real women, it's gonna fuck up your encounters and make the sex far less good for you and for her, because you're not gonna be enjoying it as much and your dick's like gonna be sub-functional. It's going to be a subhuman, flaccid, goddamn appendage that only functions for the sake of urination. It's not an ideal thing. So again, the first thing, most guys don't realize how ridiculously like hyper driven, aggressive, libido enhanced you can get just by not touching your dick and not looking at porn. That doesn't mean edge and shit and do like weird stuff to try and get around it. Like, oh, I just won't come and I'll like watch porn and like edge and shit. No, like no porn, no touching your dick. Do that for 2 weeks and then tell me that your dick doesn't function. Like, do that and tell me your dick doesn't function. Most guys who are healthy men are going to be totally fine after that and realize like, damn, like I've just been fucking spanking the monkey, watching too much porn, one of the two, combination of those things. Above and beyond that, if that is not fixing it, get a blood test done. This is something that is going to rule out any hormonal deficiencies or imbalances. Do you have a weird case of hyperprolactinemia for some reason? Do you have misbalanced fucking estrogen levels? Do you have a deficiency in estrogen? Like recently I saw blood work of a guy who was like literally estrogen deficient and didn't even realize it from certain things he was doing in his lifestyle. And that again would make you paradoxically, as you'd think, oh, I want high test and low estrogen. Like no, actually, paradoxically, that'll make your dick not function well at all. You get brutal ED when your estrogen's in the toilet. Some individuals are using test boosters with aromatase inhibitors in them. Eventually might fuck you over, make your dick stop working. As well as being neurotoxic and cardiotoxic. There's lots of things that you can parse out in blood work that is kind of like the last ditch resort to identifying what's wrong when you've actually done the basic heavy hitting thing, which is removing all mental fuckery from the equation. The psychological manipulation and desensitization that comes from pornography and touching yourself is absolutely massive. Like it makes a huge fucking difference to the point where like you could literally go from having like a dribble load to shooting projectile across the room if you just like don't touch your dick for like a week and a half. Easier said than done for most people though who are high T, obviously. But especially if you're not watching porn, very, very, very big deal and can make you literally transform your sex life entirely if you just cut that shit out. So after that, get your blood work done. That's what I would do. And then from there, you know, if you're still having issues after that, maybe we revisit this thread, you know, post a follow-up. But I mean, cut out the porn and touching your dick for 2 weeks. If that doesn't change anything whatsoever, like you'll get turned on by like chicks you otherwise would not even have been interested in probably once you get to that point. Which isn't necessarily, it might not be the best thing. But like at the end of the day, we're trying to address like, this is like a brute force approach to resetting your dick. But after you do that, go get a blood test done. See where you're at. See what your total T is at. See what your free testosterone's at. Maybe you have a ridiculously high SHBG because you've otherwise been chronically keto dieting for too long. You're in a carnivore diet. You've been eating in a deficit for too long. Who fucking knows? You're doing excessive amounts of cardio. You're fucking smoking. You're doing, I don't know. And your SHBG is sky high, and it's otherwise binding up all of your androgens that otherwise would have been useful for dick function. So even if you have a total T on paper that looks good, if your free T is disproportionately low, you might suddenly start getting like hypogonadal type symptoms. Definitely possible. So again, getting a blood panel done after you do this, you know, little reset thing is what I would recommend. I can almost guarantee the reset fixes it. And if it isn't that, then it's something in your lifestyle probably, which would be parsed out and extrapolated via the blood work. So I would definitely recommend that. And yeah, that's fucking it, dude. That would be my suggestion. I don't think it's a matter of trying to get like more comfortable with the chick or whatever. Like if you literally can't even get hard in the morning just randomly, like if you're having no morning wood, like I take that as a sign of your dick's either desensitized or you're hormonally fucked. And like honestly, even when you're desensitized, like you might still get like decent morning wood. It's usually when you're hormonally like not as on point when the morning wood goes away, from what I've seen. You know, like when my estrogen to testosterone balance and like free androgen, everything is on point, like via TRT, morning wood just fucking every single day, you know, without fail. I'm not saying you need to be on TRT to get that, by the way. I'm just saying because I can manually manipulate the hormone profile in such a way that I've experienced high estrogen before, low estrogen before, dialed in everything, and there's like a blatant difference in erectile quality, waking up and seeing if you're functioning correctly or not. Like the normal signs of it's like you don't need a chick there to tell you if your dick's working. Like if you wake up with morning wood or not, and if you get hard and you have like a hard time staying hard when you're like just yanking it, like those are not normal, you know? Those are signs of desensitization, in my opinion, or a lifestyle-induced issue / hormonal. So, you know, get that shit addressed. I think it'll be a pretty easy thing to address and actually like own in on what's wrong. I think you just need to take the correct sequence of events, which would be the psychological reset and stop touching your dick. No mechanical fucking stimulation, no physical stimulation, as well as no psychological fuckery. Clean out for 2 weeks. See how you feel. If you're still not getting morning wood and things aren't working correctly, go get a blood test and that will rule out whatever is going on here because we will see it represented in your blood work. If you have a fucked up diet and you're eating, you know, You've been zero carb for 5+ years, and now all of a sudden your free test is like fucking single digits. Like, we'll see it, bro. We'll see. So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you ever had a situation like this, or what kind of advice would you give him? And any and all comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplatesmoredates.com. Follow me on Instagram at moreplatesmoredates, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below, including my TRT clinic, all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. We have a self-service lab subsection of the website where you can order your own blood biomarkers yourself without even needing to talk to a doctor. You just pay for it at the checkout menu. And we have the most customizable lab builder in that self-service lab section, where you can literally just like grab like a high sensitivity total T with an equilibrium ultrafiltration free T with an SHBG with a sensitive assay estradiol with like a whatever you want, and create your own customizable panel with reasonable fucking prices. You don't have to get a $600 panel just to see like what your test is or what this is. And you can actually get high sensitivity. We're not gonna be charging out the goddamn ass like some of these, you know, at-home tests do to just get a shitty, like inaccurate T and estrogen level, spitting in like a tube, or pricking your finger, I should say. I meant the spitting in the tube is the genetic test, but the pricking your finger thing, like some of those tests are like hundreds of dollars for getting like 3 or 4 endocrine markers. And they're inaccurate. They're using fucking immunoassay to test your blood levels. You want to get sensitive assay shit, and you want to get specifically what you want and pay a reasonable goddamn price. Self-service labs through Merrick Health. Check it out. You can obviously get our pre-designed recommended panels for like broad spectrum, like preventative medicine, like checking all of your health, getting your lipids checked, getting your metabolic parameters, getting your hematology. Obviously that would be warranted if you don't do that already, and you should be getting blood work on at least like a reasonably frequent basis, and obviously more frequent if you're enhanced versus natural. But if you just want to check something specific and own in on something like this, you know, create your own panel and, you know, spend you know, a few bucks on it, and that's something that would be worthwhile doing. And we have the cheapest and most customizable self-service labs checkout menu that I am aware of, that actually has access to the high sensitivity testing that you want. Like, this is something I went so out of my way to make sure we had access to, is high sensitivity fucking testing using LC-MS technology rather than immunoassay. So very important. So anyways, check that out. Anything else I'm associated with, it is all in the video description below. My recommended diet model for gaining muscle and sports performance whilst being mindful of micronutrient intake. That kind of diet model will make sure your hormones are peaked to make sure your dick is functioning at full tilt, as well as your muscles. So check that out, as well as anything else I'm associated with. It's all in the video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.